Hi kids! Hello everyone! Welcome back to Mathematics for Humanity episode number 8. And in this episode, we're going to do another method of multiplication, and this is by Criss-Cross method. By the way, please don't forget to share this video to help others. We have already made some videos. These are just some of the videos that we've made. Subtraction and the negative numbers, more on negative numbers, the basics of multiplication, and then we also had different methods of multiplication, and we started with partial addition, crossing sticks, and then today we're going to have criss-cross method. So to start with, we have already used these numbers before as we multiply in different methods. This time we'll do crisscrossing, and we'll show you that it's the same result that we get. So for example, 47 times 8, by crisscrossing, we start with writing the numbers that we're going to multiply vertically. So in this case, we're starting with the first numbers here. 47 times 8, we start with writing the numbers vertically, like 47 and 8, and we make sure that the units digits are aligned. So like here, for example, you have 7 and 9. For this number, you have to align 7 and 9, because it's very important, because we're going to draw some squares and then do the crisscross. So we start with this one here, 47 times 8. Here we are going to make sure that we're going to multiply two numbers of the same number of digits. So in this case, you have two digits above and then you just have one digit below. So we have to put a zero here. So that you have two numbers below 47. So this is the procedure of the crisscross. Let's follow closely the procedure, and then when you are already familiar with the procedure, then you can multiply large numbers or even small numbers like decimals. It will be very easy for you. So in this case, we have 47 times 8. So we start with enclosing these two numbers here. So we multiply 7 times 8, that's 56. So we write 5 here and then 6 here, that's 56. Then we enclose, so we have to erase this. Then we enclose the four numbers. The next one is to enclose these four numbers and do the crisscross. We multiply this. 7 times 0 would be 0. And then we do the multiplication of 8 times 4, and that is 32. So we have 32 here. Then we add them. That's 0 plus 2 is 2, and then you have 32 here. And we write that here. So that's 32, and then that's it. And then we erase this, we clean this. Sorry, I erased the 0. So we erase this, and then we enclose the last column here. The last column here. So 4 times 0 would just be 0. So we're just going to put so we have to multiply 4 and 0, and then we just have to put the 0 here. So finally we have the product as 6, and then you have 2 plus 5 would be 7, and then 0 plus 3 would be 3. So we have correctly determined or calculated the product of the two numbers. So that's how you do the criss-cross method. Now let's do this one here. So we have 59 times 37. So again, enclose this with a rectangle and then multiply them. 9 times 7 would be 63, so we have to write 63 63 here. Then we increase the enclosure so that we will occupy 2 columns. So this one we have to increase the enclosure, and then we crisscross here. 5 times 7 would be 35, and then we add the other diagonal. So 3 times 7 would be 27, so we have 27 here. And then we have 5 times 7, 5 plus 7 would be 12, carry 1, this would be 1 plus 3 plus 2 would be 6, so that's 62. So I'll write 62 here. Then we have let me erase this, let me erase that, and then I'll enclose this, the last one. We increase the enclosure as we go left, and then after reaching the leftmost column we then decrease the enclosure. So let's check that later. So anyway, this is 5 times 3, this would be 15, so this one would be 15 here, and then the product would be so you have to multiply that. 3 times 5 would be 15. So we now bring down the numbers here. So 3 would be here, and then 6 plus 2 would be 8, and then 5 plus 6 would be 11, so you have to put 1 here, and then you have to carry 1 here. 1 plus 1 would be 2, and so that's 2183. That's just this one, so that's correct there. So here in this example we have 4 numbers above and 3 numbers below. You just have to put the 0 here to make it 4, and the 4 digits above and 4 digits below. So let's start with this one. Here you have 7 times 9. We enclose this first. So 7 times 9 would be 63. 63. Then we increase the enclosure so that we will enclose 2 columns. So here we have this one here. So we will crisscross here. 0 times 9 would be 0, and then 6 times 7 would be 42. So we have 42. 0 plus 42 would be 42, and then we write 42 here. Okay, so let's increase again the enclosure, covering 3 columns. So we will do this 3 columns here. We will crisscross this. So this is now 8 times 9 would be 72. And then we have 4 times 7. 4 times 7 would be 28. 28. And then here we have to multiply 0 and 6. So this is just 0. And then we have 2 plus 8 would be 10, so carry 1 here. 1 plus 7 would be 8, plus 2, this would be 100. So how do we write that? There are 3 numbers, so we write the 100 here. 1, 0, and 0 here. 100. Okay. Now, we need to increase again to cover all the columns. We increase again the enclosure. So we will have this. So here we take the diagonals 5 and 9, so this is 45. And then we have 0 times 7, this would be 0. And then 8 times 6 would be 48. And then we have 0 times 4 would be 0. And then we add the 4 numbers. 5 plus 8 would be 13. And then carry 1 here. 1 plus 4 would be 9. So that's 93. So we write the 3 here and the 9 here. And then we have, since we covered all the columns, we now decrease the enclosure, decrease towards the left. So now we have, so let's erase this and erase this one. So we will now enclose these 3 columns here. And then we crisscross. 5 times 6 would be 30. And then crisscross again. 0 times 0 would be 0. And then we have 4 times 8 would be 32. This is 32. So you have 2 and 6 here. 0 plus 0 plus 2 is 2, and 3 plus 3 would be 6. So we have 62 here. 62. Then we further decrease the enclosure. So we will erase this and then this one. So we enclose these 4 numbers now. So we have 5 times 4 would be 20. And then 0 times 8 would be 0. So this is just 0. So 20 plus 0 will be 20. And then you have here 0, 2. 0, 2. So let me erase that again. And then we now are left with 1 column to enclose. So here we have 5 times 0 would be 0. So here you have to multiply 5 and 0, and that's 0. So we will now get the product by simplifying the numbers above. So this is now 3, and 2 plus 6 would be 8, and then 0 plus 4 would be 4, and then 3 plus 0 would be 3. 9 plus 2 plus 1 would be 12. So I write 2 here and add a 1 here. 1 plus 6 would be 7. And then 2 plus 0 would be 2. So finally I have this 2,723,483, which is just this one. And finally we will do the last one. This is 5, multiplying a 5-digit number to a 5-digit number. And hopefully we will not make a mistake here, or else we'll find a mistake and then do it again. Okay, this one here we have to enclose first the rightmost digits, this one here. So 9 times 6 would be 54. So I write 5 here and 4 here. And then I erase this, and then I enclose 2 columns of numbers. Then I crisscross. 4 times 6 would be 24, and then 0 times 9 would be 0. So this is 24. 24 plus 0 is 24. So I will write 4 here and then 2 here. So again, we increase the enclosed columns. So we increase this we increase the enclosure to 3 columns, and then we crisscross. 2 times 6 would be 12, and then 3 times 9 would be 27, and then 4 times 0 would be 0. So we will have 9, 2 plus 7 is 9, and then 1 plus 2 would be 3. That's 39. So I'll write here 9 and then the 3 here. So we will increase again the enclosure, and that's now including the 4th column. So we'll have this enclosure here, and then we have 7 times 6 would be 42, and 8 times 9 would be 72. Here, and then we have 2 times 0 would be 0, and then we have 3 times 4 would be 12, so that's 12 here. 2 plus 2 plus 2 would be 6. 4 plus 7 plus 1 would be 12. So that's 126. Okay, let me just check again. So 126. So how do I do that? So I'll write the 6 here, and then the 126. So 1, 1, 2, and 6. And then I have to increase again the enclosure. So I have to erase this. And now this will now include the 5th column. And then I crisscross again. So here we have 6 times 6 would be 36, and then 5 times 9 would be 45, then 7 times 0 would be 0, and then 8 times 4 would be 32, this is 32, and then 2 times 3 would be 6, so this is 6. So I add them all. 6 plus 5 would be 11. 11 plus 2 would be 13. Plus 6 would be 19. So this is 9. And then carry 1 here. You have 100. 1 plus 3 plus 4 would be 8. Plus 3 would be 11. So this is 119. So I'll write the 9 here and 1 and 1 here. That's 119. And now, since we have reached the last column, we will now reduce the rectangle towards the left. So this one I have to erase, and I have to erase this. So I will just enclose this one here, and then do the crisscross. 6 times 0 would be 0, and then 5 times 4 would be 20. 7 times 3 would be 21, and then 8 times 2 would be 16. So this is 7, and then this is 5. So this is 57. So I'll write here 7 and then 5 here. Okay, so now I'll reduce again the enclosure, and that's going to be just 3 parts here, 3 columns here. So I have 3 times 6 would be 18, and then 5 times 2 would be 10, and then 8 times 7 would be 56. So this is 8 plus 6 would be 14, carry 1 here is 84. So this is 4 here, and then I have to write 8 here. Then again I have to reduce the enclosure. So I'll now just enclose 2 columns, and then I'll do the crisscross. 8 times 6 would be 48, and then 5 times 7 would be 35. So this is 35, and I have 3, carry 1, this is 83. So I have to write 3 here and then 8 here. And then I will have the last column to be enclosed. So I'll erase this, and I'll just enclose this last column. So 5 times 6 would be 30. So I'll just write 0 here and then the 3 here. So now we can get the product. It's a long method, but definitely much faster than the traditional one. So I'll take the product now. So this is now 4 plus 5 would be 9, and then 9 plus 2 would be 11. So I'll put 1 here and write the number 1 on the next box. So 3 plus 6 plus 1 would be 10. So I'll put a 0 here, and then I put the 1 here. 9 plus 1 would be 10, plus 2 would be 12, and this would be 12, so I'll write 1 here again. Then 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 7 would be 10, so this is 0 again, and then I have to write 1 here. So 5 plus 1 would be 6, plus 4 would be 10, plus 1 would be 11, so I'll write 1 here and then 1 here, and then 8 plus 3 would be 11. 11 plus 1 would be 12, and then I'll write the 1 here. 8 plus 1 would be 9, then bring down the 3. So we'll check if that is the correct one. So okay, so this is I'll put a comma here. So that's 3,921,194. So that's correct here. So that's how you do multiplication by crisscrossing. It's it's not that fast, but it's definitely much faster than the traditional one, and it can actually just consume a little space on your paper if you use a pencil as when you do the manual multiplication. So I hope you've learned something, and you can try other numbers that you can multiply. Just be careful when you multiply and add, and the addition of the numbers there. If you miss one, then you'll miss I mean, you're gonna make a mistake, but don't worry, you can correct your mistake. So that's it for now. To view more videos like this, subscribe to this channel and share the video to help others. Watch out for new math videos soon, and the next one will be another method of multiplication, and that's lattice method. So see you guys, and I hope you've learned something.